The Alien War Council gathered inside their grand chamber. The walls of the room were alive with glowing stars. A map of the battlefield stretched across the dark sky. Each alien commander stared at the projection of the human fleet. They saw weak engines, small warships, and weapons that looked like toys compared to their massive cannons. Laughter filled the chamber. Cold, cruel laughter. "These are the humans?" one alien asked. His voice carried the weight of arrogance. "This is the fleet that dares to stand against us? They bring rusted machines to fight our empire." Another alien leaned forward. His scales reflected the light of the map. "They are nothing more than insects crawling into space. Let us burn them, and the galaxy will never speak of them again." The alien commanders believed they were looking at fools. The humans had sent a fleet that looked fragile, almost broken. Their ships were thin and slow, their armor weak. Every comparison between human steel and alien warforged vessels ended in mockery. "They have no chance," a general said. His eyes glowed with certainty. "They will fall before the first strike. We will erase their name from the stars." The alien chamber shook with the sound of cruel amusement. But far away across the silence of space, the humans were not laughing. The human fleet floated in a quiet formation. Rows of destroyers and cruisers held their positions, their weapons charged but not firing. From the outside, they looked calm, too calm, as if they were waiting for something. On one human bridge, a captain stood tall. His uniform was worn from battles past, but his voice carried a steady command. He stared at the alien ships that outnumbered and outgunned them. Around him, young officers looked anxious, their hands shaking slightly as they moved across glowing screens. "Sir," one officer whispered, "their fleet is 3 times larger. Their weapons, we cannot match them." The captain did not answer at first. His gaze was firm, locked on the stars beyond. Then he said in a calm voice, "Hold the line." The crew exchanged glances. They trusted him, but fear still pressed down on their hearts. Outside the windows, alien battleships lit up like suns, their weapons preparing for the strike. The aliens fired first. Bolts of green light cut across the darkness, smashing into the human defenses. Shields rippled. Metal screamed. A small frigate shattered in a single blast, scattering into silent pieces of debris. The alien commanders roared in triumph. "Pathetic," one shouted as he watched from his throne. "They cannot even withstand a single volley." Another alien leaned back in his chair, grinning. Let this be the end of their race. They were never meant to claim the stars. Yet on the human side, something strange happened. The humans did not retreat. They did not scatter. Their fleet stayed in formation, even as more ships were struck. Every captain held his post, every soldier held his breath, waiting for a signal no alien could see. The aliens mocked them again. "Why do they not run?" An alien admiral sneered. "Do they wait for us to finish them? Do they beg for mercy without speaking?" But the humans had no intention of begging. The captain of the lead cruiser leaned closer to his officer. "Do not return fire yet. Let them think we are weak. Let them think we are nothing." His voice carried through the comms to other ships. One by one, captains repeated the same order. No one broke formation. No one betrayed the secret they carried. The aliens, watching from their grand chamber, laughed harder than before. They do not even fire back. This is not war. This is execution. But in the silence of human ships, the mood was different. The young officers did not laugh. They felt the weight of something immense, something hidden. Some could not explain it, but they sensed that their fleet was not alone. They sensed a shadow waiting beyond the edges of sight. The alien fleet pressed forward, drunk with arrogance. Their warships glowed brighter, their weapons hotter. Another human ship fell, and another. Pieces of steel drifted across the black sea of space, glowing red before fading into cold ash. The alien council raised their hands in celebration. "It is over," one declared. "The humans were fools to stand against us. They have no secret, no strength. Their fleet will be nothing but wreckage." But even as he spoke, the human captain whispered one word into his comms. His voice was steady, low, and filled with weight. "Wait." The officers froze. They did not know why, but they obeyed. Outside, the alien ships grew closer. Their laughter could almost be heard across the void. The humans still did not return fire. They still did not retreat. The aliens did not see it yet, but something was coming. A silence deeper than fear. A shadow larger than any warship in the battle. A presence that had not yet revealed itself. For now, the humans waited. Their fleet was broken, their ships looked weak, their enemies were laughing. But in the silence behind the fragile lines of human steel, something vast was stirring. And soon the laughter would stop. Humanity's weakness on display, the alien fleet advanced with cold confidence. Their ships were sharp and enormous, each one glowing with the power of weapons forged from centuries of conquest. They had defeated countless civilizations before, and to them humanity was no different. The alien commanders sat high in their control chambers, eyes fixed on the projection screens. Every strike against the human fleet was another reason to laugh. "See how they fall," one alien general said. His voice carried a cruel delight. "They are fragile shells drifting in the void. They will not even last until our main cannons finish charging." On the battlefield, human ships struggled to hold position. A destroyer cracked in half after a beam tore through its hull. Flames burned in the vacuum of space for only seconds before dying in silence. The fragments of metal drifted like broken bones across the dark sky. Inside the surviving ships, human crews worked in tense silence. Sirens screamed through the halls. Lights flashed red and engineers ran to seal breaches. The young officers looked at their captain with fear in their eyes, waiting for the order to retreat. "Sir, we are losing too many ships," one whispered, his voice shaking. The captain did not move. His hands gripped the rail in front of him, his face calm even as the deck trembled beneath the impact of enemy fire. "Hold the line," he repeated, his voice steady. The crew obeyed, though they did not understand. They could not see the plan. To them it looked like suicide. From the alien side, the battle was a performance. "They do not even resist," one alien commander said. His golden eyes narrowed. "They stand like cattle waiting for the slaughter." "They are a primitive species," another replied. "They do not know the meaning of war. They thought numbers could save them. They thought courage could match weapons." The council laughed again, filling their chamber with cruel echoes. But something unsettled the youngest among them. One alien officer, watching carefully, frowned. "Why do they not break formation?" he asked softly. "Why do they not scatter as the others did before them?" His question was ignored. The elder commanders dismissed it with a wave of their clawed hands. "Fear has trapped them. Their captains are too foolish to order retreat. It does not matter." Yet the young alien's eyes stayed fixed on the human fleet. He saw order in their silence. He saw patience where others saw weakness. The battle pressed on. Another wave of alien fire smashed into the human line. A cruiser exploded in a sphere of fire, its pieces drifting apart like embers. Screams filled the comms before they were cut into silence. The alien generals clapped their hands against their armored thrones. They fall like dry leaves in the wind. Soon there will be nothing left but ashes. On the human side, fear grew heavier. Officers whispered among themselves. Pilots gripped their controls until their hands bled. A medic prayed silently, her eyes closed, as alarms blared around her. Still, the captains did not give the order to attack. Still, they waited. "Why are we not firing back?" a young officer demanded in frustration. "Why do we allow them to tear us apart?" The captain turned to him slowly. His eyes were sharp and unshaken. "Because the moment we fire, we reveal what we are hiding. Let them believe we are weak. Let them believe this is all we have." His words carried through the comms to the other human ships. Even the most frightened crew members held their breath and obeyed. Outside, the alien fleet pressed closer. Their laughter was loud, their arrogance blinding. "They are finished," one alien commander announced. "Our next volley will crush their heart. Humanity will be nothing but a memory." The young alien officer spoke again. "Why do they not call for help? Why do they not send distress signals to other colonies?" "Because they are fools," the elder sneered. "Because they do not know they are already dead." The human fleet looked like it was breaking. Too many ships were gone. Too many fires burned in the void. But the lines held. The humans did not retreat, did not scatter. Their silence was a riddle the aliens refused to solve. On one human ship, a pilot whispered to herself as she stared at the stars. "Where are you? Why do we wait this long?" Her words were swallowed by the hum of her engines. She had no answer, but she trusted her commander. The humans had waited this long, and they would wait a little longer. The aliens prepared their next strike. Their largest cannons glowed, gathering power that shook the space around them. The commanders leaned forward, eager for the final blow. "This ends now," the eldest alien general declared. "Erase them." The glow of alien weapons lit the battlefield like a new sun. It burned against the shadows of broken ships, against the silent determination of the human line. The human captains watched quietly. Their voices moved through the comms calm and clear. Hold the line. The alien weapons roared to life and the void burned again. Another wave of fire tore through the humans, splitting ships, scattering wreckage, covering the stars with smoke and debris. The alien commanders laughed once more, their voices sharp and proud. But on the human ships, though fear was heavy, there was still no panic. Their silence remained unbroken. They still waited. For beyond the edge of the battlefield, beyond the stars the aliens thought they controlled, something was stirring. The humans knew, the aliens did not. And soon, the galaxy would discover that humanity's weakness was only a mask. The turning point. The battlefield grew silent for a moment, as if space itself was holding its breath. Broken human ships drifted across the void, their remains glowing faintly like dying stars. The alien fleet moved forward with hungry confidence, their cannons ready to fire again. But inside the human command ships, no one spoke of defeat. The captains' faces were still steady, their eyes watching not the enemy but the horizon beyond the battlefield. One young officer could no longer hold back his fear. "Sir," he whispered, his voice trembling, "if we do not strike back now, there will be nothing left." "Why do we wait?" The captain's reply was soft but heavy with meaning. "Because the battle has not yet begun." The officer blinked in confusion. He turned to the window, staring into the endless darkness. To him, there was nothing there, only cold stars and the mocking light of alien weapons. Yet the captain's words carried a strange weight, as if he spoke of something vast and hidden. The alien council laughed again. "Look at them," one commander said, his claws drumming on the arm of his throne, still in formation, still waiting to die. "They cling to order, but order will not save them." Another leaned forward, his eyes glowing. "They are fools. They think bravery can match firepower. Watch as we crush their heart in one final blow." Their ships prepared their largest volley yet, cannons glowing with deadly energy. The alien fleet was eager to end it, to erase humanity's defiance with one overwhelming strike. But then, something changed. The stars shifted. At first, it was barely noticeable, a faint distortion at the edge of the battlefield. Alien sensors twitched, their readings turning strange, but the commanders ignored it. They believed it was debris or interference from human wreckage, yet the distortion grew. The stars themselves seemed to vanish, swallowed by a darkness deeper than the void. A shadow spread across the horizon, larger and larger, until even the alien fleet began to hesitate. "What is that?" a young alien officer whispered. The elder generals frowned. "It is nothing. Continue the attack." But their voices carried less certainty now. Their golden eyes narrowed at the strange darkness that was devouring the stars. Inside the human fleet, every officer felt the change. A ripple of hope moved through the crews. They did not cheer, they did not speak, but their eyes widened, their fear shifting into something else. The captain allowed himself the faintest smile. At last, he murmured, the shadow grew larger. The alien ship scanned desperately, but their systems failed to measure it. Their machines screamed warnings, but no clear data came. The unknown filled their screens. Then out of the darkness it appeared, the Human Mothership. It emerged like a titan from another age, its colossal frame dwarfing everything around it. Its hull glowed with ancient lines of power, each one pulsing with energy that no alien scanner could identify. Compared to it, the alien flagships looked like toys. The battlefield fell into silence. Even the alien laughter stopped. What is that?" One commander whispered, his voice breaking. Another hissed in disbelief. "It cannot be human. No primitive race could build this, yet there it was." The mothership moved slowly, but its presence was crushing. The sheer size of it bent the light around it, casting shadows that swallowed entire fleets. On the human ships, officers stared in awe. Some had never seen it before, only heard whispers of its existence, an ancient guardian built in secret, a weapon of last resort. "The mothership," one pilot whispered, tears filling her eyes. "It is real." The alien commanders tried to recover their pride. "It is only a large ship," one snapped, though his voice trembled. "Size does not matter. Fire on it." Their fleets obeyed. Thousands of cannons unleashed their firepower. Beams of energy, missiles, and plasma tore across the void, slamming into the mothership's hull. The explosion lit the darkness for seconds. Alien officers leaned forward, hoping to see the giant crumble. But when the light faded, the mothership still stood, untouched. Its armor had absorbed the storm as if it were nothing more than rain against steel. The alien council stared in silence. For the first time, their confidence cracked. On the human flagship, the captain raised his hand. His voice spread across the comms, calm and commanding. The time has come. Engage. The mothership awakened. Lights burned across its colossal frame. Cannons that had slept in silence for years came alive, glowing with a power that shook the battlefield. The hum of its engines echoed like thunder across the void. Then it fired. A single beam of light, pure and unstoppable, cut through the darkness. It struck an alien capital ship, the largest and most powerful of their fleet. In one instant, the ship shattered. It did not explode into pieces. It was erased as if it had never existed. The alien commanders froze in shock. Their jaws tightened. Their claws dug into the arms of their thrones. Silence spread through their chamber. That is impossible, one whispered. No weapon can do that. But the evidence floated before their eyes. Their proudest warship was gone, erased in a single shot. On the human side, silence turned into steady determination. The officers did not celebrate wildly. They simply nodded to one another. The waiting was over. The true battle had begun. The aliens scrambled. Their fleets pulled back, commanders shouting desperate orders. Fear spread like fire through their ranks. For the first time, the arrogance was gone. One young alien officer trembled as he watched the mothership advance. "We called them insects," he whispered. "But this is no insect." The elder general could not answer. His eyes were fixed on the screen. His pride shattered. The humans had revealed their strength, and the galaxy would never look at them the same way again. The fear shifts. The alien fleet had never known silence like this. Not even during their countless wars across the galaxy had they felt such a sudden stillness. The mocking laughter that had filled their command halls was gone. Every commander, every officer stared at the battlefield with eyes wide in disbelief. The human mothership moved forward with calm power. It was not fast, it did not rush, but every movement carried the weight of something ancient and unstoppable. Its shadow stretched across the alien fleet, swallowing their pride. Inside the alien council chamber, the generals argued among themselves. "Fire again," one shouted. "Overwhelm it with everything we have." Another snapped back, "Do you not see? We already gave it everything. That ship cannot be destroyed." The youngest among them whispered, his voice shaking. Perhaps it was never meant to be destroyed. The elder generals turned their cold eyes on him, but none could deny the truth. Their weapons had failed. Their strongest ships had been erased in a single strike. On the human side, the fleet stirred. The captains who had held their silence for so long now spoke with steady voices. Formation 1. Protect the mothership. Hold your fire until it commands. The human officers obeyed without hesitation. Their fear had shifted into something else, an iron belief. The mothership was not only a warship, it was a symbol. It was proof that humanity had been underestimated for too long. The aliens, meanwhile, struggled to regain control. Orders rang out across their channels. Fleets were told to regroup, to focus fire, to surround the giant. But their movements lacked the confidence they once had. The mocking tone was gone. Their shots rained down once more, beams of energy striking the mothership's hull. Explosions rippled across its massive body, lighting it like a storm. But when the light faded, the ship remained, untouched, unshaken. Then slowly the mothership responded. "It is disabling us," another cried. "How can humans possess such power?" On the battlefield, dozens of alien warships floated powerless, their crews pounding at dead controls. The mothership continued to move, silent and unstoppable, choosing its next target. It fired again. A line of fire tore through 3 alien cruisers at once, slicing them apart with surgical precision. Their pieces spun silently into the void. No debris cloud, no survivors, only fragments of what once had been mighty ships. The alien generals gripped their thrones, their arrogance gone. Fear crept into their voices. "This is not possible," one whispered. "We were told humans were weak. We were told their technology was primitive." And yet, another muttered, his voice heavy, our empire trembles. The young alien officer stared at the screen with wide eyes. His words were quiet, almost like a prayer. We called them inferior. We mocked them. But perhaps it was we who were blind. The human captains now gave the order to fire. Their smaller ships, once silent, unleashed their weapons with renewed strength. Beams of light shot across the void, guided by the mothership's command. Together they carved through alien lines. One by one, alien ships began to fall. The laughter of hours ago was replaced with screams of retreat. The once proud fleet scattered, breaking formation in a desperate attempt to survive. On the bridge of a human cruiser, a young pilot watched the alien ships flee. His hands trembled, but not with fear. This time it was awe. They are running, he whispered. Aliens are actually running. The captain beside him nodded slowly. They will never forget this day. Across the battlefield, the mothership pressed on. Its weapons fired with calm precision, each strike tearing apart the heart of the alien fleet. Where once humanity had been mocked, now the galaxy watched them become something far more dangerous than anyone had believed. Inside the alien council, voices turned desperate. Retreat, one shouted. Pull our forces back before none survive. Another slammed his fist against the table. No, we cannot retreat from insects. We are the Empire. But even as he spoke, their screens showed the truth. Their fleets were collapsing. Their proud ships burned in silence. The humans they had called weak stood unbroken. And the shadow of the mothership loomed larger with every passing second. The elder general, once so proud, now spoke with a voice heavy with fear. If we stay, we die. If we retreat, we live to fight again. For the first time in their long history, the Empire chose retreat. Orders were sent. Alien ships turned away from the battlefield, their engines flaring as they fled. The mothership did not chase them. It watched in silence, its glowing weapons dimming, its massive frame still as the void. The human fleet held position, their formation unbroken. The battle was over. But the war had changed forever. The aliens who once mocked humanity now carried fear in their hearts. They had seen the mothership. They had seen what humanity was capable of, and they would never laugh again. On the human flagship, the captain looked out at the drifting wreckage of both friend and foe. His face was solemn, but his eyes carried a quiet fire. Let the galaxy remember this day, he said softly. We may look weak. We may look fragile. But we are human. And we endure. The officers around him nodded in silence. Far beyond the stars, the news would spread. The Empire had been stopped. The humans had revealed their strength. And whispers would carry across worlds. Whispers of the day when laughter turned into fear. Humanity's triumph. The battlefield was quiet. The alien fleet, once so confident, was broken. Fires burned across the void, fading slowly as wreckage drifted in endless silence. What had begun as a chorus of alien laughter ended in a retreat filled with fear. The human mothership floated at the center of it all. It was not fast, it did not move with haste, yet its presence alone commanded the stars. Its weapons dimmed, its colossal shadow hanging over the battlefield like a watchful guardian. Inside the alien council chamber, there was no laughter now. The generals who once mocked humanity sat in silence, their pride shattered. They had believed themselves masters of the galaxy, unchallenged in their power, but today they had witnessed something they could not explain, something that shook the core of their arrogance. One elder general whispered, almost to himself, "We were blind. We thought them weak, but weakness was only their mask." Another lowered his head. "If this is what they bring when cornered, what else do they hide?" No one answered. The chamber remained still. For the first time in centuries, the Empire felt the weight of uncertainty. Far across the battlefield, human crews worked tirelessly inside their battered ships. Engineers sealed breaches, medics moved among the wounded, officers counted the fallen. The cost had been heavy, but the line had held. Humanity had stood against the Empire and endured. On the flagship's bridge, the captain looked out into the stars. His face was solemn, carved by the memory of lives lost, yet in his eyes burned the fire of victory. Around him, young officers who had once trembled with fear now stood taller. Their voices were steadier, their movements sure. They ran. One pilot whispered in disbelief, "Aliens ran from us." "They will remember this day," another said softly. The captain spoke then. his voice low but clear, carrying across the comms to every human ship. We were mocked. We were called weak. We were told we could never stand among the stars. But today we showed them. Today we did not just survive. We triumphed. A silence followed his words, a silence heavy with pride. Then, one by one, human crews across the fleet raised their voices, not in wild cheers, not in laughter, but in steady acknowledgement of what they had achieved. The mothership drifted closer, its colossal frame passing over the smaller ships as if to shelter them. Its very presence was a promise. Humanity was not alone. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not to be mocked again. Beyond the battlefield, the news spread quickly. Traders whispered in distant stations. Colonies lit up with messages. The Empire had retreated. The humans had stood firm. Rumors grew, carried across the galaxy like fire on the wind. They called humans insects, one voice said. And yet, another replied, an insect made them bleed. For alien worlds that had lived under the Empire's shadow, the story brought new hope. If humans could defy them, perhaps others could as well. If humans could endure mockery and still rise, perhaps no empire was eternal. But for humanity, the victory was not about pride alone. It was about survival. It was about proving to themselves and to the galaxy that they would never bow. On the mothership's command deck, an admiral stood at the heart of the great machine. His voice carried across the entire fleet. This was not just a battle, he said. It was a lesson. The galaxy must learn that we will not be erased. We are human. We are flawed, we are fragile, but we endure. We endure because we fight not only with weapons, but with spirit, and spirit cannot be destroyed. His words settled like iron into the hearts of every soldier. The alien empire, once so proud, would not forget. Their pride had been wounded deeper than any weapon could cut. They would remember the mothership. They would remember the silence that followed its strike. And they would remember the day humanity refused to break. In the human fleet, the younger officers looked out at the stars with new eyes. They no longer saw only cold lights in the dark. They saw possibility. They saw a future that belonged not to those who mocked, but to those who endured. A young pilot whispered to herself, "They thought we were weak, but they do not laugh now." Her words echoed the truth of the battle. The wreckage of alien ships drifted silently. Reminders of arrogance shattered. The mothership stood watch over the battlefield, its vast frame glowing softly, as if it were more than a ship. Something older, something greater, something waiting for the future yet to come. The captain of the flagship closed his eyes for a moment, remembering the fallen. When he opened them again, his voice was steady. "We have endured. We will endure again. And from this day forward, no one will forget what it means to face humanity." And so the story of the battle spread, a story of weakness turned to strength, of mockery turned to fear, of humans who stood unbroken. The galaxy had seen the truth. Humanity was not to be underestimated. And somewhere in the silence of the stars, the echo of the mothership's first strike remained. A warning, a promise. The day aliens laughed at humanity was the last day they ever would.